I'm in my garage right now to help explain to you some electrical basics, some tips, tricks, and also like go over some stuff with like switches and breakers. First thing, what is a breaker? In case you don't know, that's what a breaker looks like. There's different switches, and usually in like most houses or like really any building that has a breaker, which most do, um, there should be like little labels next to it, like usually on the door. And that tells you like what section of the house it correlates to. So if you flip a breaker and you like overload the circuit because you have too many volts going through it, you'll just have to come back in here, flip it, then that'll like turn back that section of the house on. Also, if you're taking off any plates, you're doing like anything with electricity, changing out a bulb, you don't really need to do it. But like if you're going into a switch or like an outlet, you should figure out what section you need to turn off. Turn it off. Make sure the voltage is actually off. There are voltage testers for that. And yeah. Okay, now to go over some stuff with the actual switches, some tips, tricks, and also some like landlord specials that you should really avoid. So first thing, if you're going into one of these, make sure that the breaker is flipped and you don't get electrocuted. And then secondly, you'll have to like unscrew these. Another like thing landlords like to do is they just paint over these. I would highly suggest just unscrewing them. It doesn't take that long. Unscrew them, pop them out a bit, paint around it. Next thing, you'll have to like pull them out. And there's like hot wires, neutral wire, and grounding wire. Make sure they're hooked up properly. For that, I would just like look up a schematic. Same with an outlet, it should just tell you. There's like two-way, three-way switches, GCI receptacles, and normal receptacles. Make sure you're looking up the right schematic for each one. And then the other thing, with these, make sure you're using the right type of wire. In residential, it's typically just like, I don't know what it's called. It's like a core wire, so there's only one like strand. Then there's stranded wire, which is for like commercial, and that has like multiple like little strands. Residential, use the core one. Make sure you're using that. Then there's also like wire nuts and wire strippers. Make sure you're stripping at the right amount and you don't have too much hanging out, because that could ignite stuff and that could cause fire. So just some tips, tricks, make sure you're doing all that. I'd highly suggest looking at a schematic, and yeah, that's about all.